Let's look at how to draw cabinets and tables into a one-point perspective. So if you understand one-point perspective well enough that you can draw a box in a room in one point, then we can take the next step, which is to invent some shelves and cabinets in that room. First, what we're going to do to draw any one of these cabinets is we're going to understand the box that that cabinet was shipped in. So let's take this cabinet here first, this fairly simple sort of table unit, and let's draw it into one of the boxes that we've created. I'm going to take a piece of marker paper because it's see-through. You can use tracing paper on this too if you want. And I'm basically going to layer it over top of my piece of paper. It's probably a good idea at this point to take some masking tape and to stick these two things together, because otherwise they're going to be sliding around. So let's take the top of our page and attach the back sheet to the one that's going over top. This way we've created an overlay and we can quickly get our room drawn back in. We can use the same room that we had before. So let's take this room here, let's say, and let's use the same vanishing point and the same horizon line. So now I'm just sketching this all in onto the paper that I had before. I'm looking at this wall going this way. I'm not drawing too darkly yet because I'm going to draw furniture over top of it like here, right? So maybe I'm using my 2H pencil to set this all up. I went to X across the corners. That's not the move I wanted to make, was it? I need to go up to the corners from the vanishing point. All right, so here's my vanishing point: ceiling, floor, right wall, left wall, back wall. I'm not even going to draw the floor in too hard because I think I'm going to end up erasing that if I do something like overlapping like I did with this block here. All right, so let's take this fairly simple cabinet right here and let's look at that closely. There's a plane on the floor. There's a plane up here where you're going to put things on top of the table, and then there's a stick of wood at each corner, right? It looks like a three-quarter view, which means I can see the top of the box, I can see the front of the box, and I can see the right side of the box. So over here on the left side of the room, I have boxes like that where I can draw the front, the top, and the right side. So this box is going to serve like that, sitting there in the corner. This box is not the same proportion as that box. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to change it a little bit so that my height to width is more like what I'm seeing here, right? So let's take this box here. And let's say this is still going to be the width on the floor, but now this depth back here looks like it's a little too far. Maybe I want to come out a little bit further, and I want to make this, I want to come in a little bit shorter here. So I'm looking at the footprint on the floor right here, and I'm making it more square to match this table that I see here. This box that I drew isn't exactly going to fit shipping for this table, right? So I'm going to create a box that's going to be exactly right for that table first. So I'm going to come up from here. I'm ignoring this line here because I want to create a new box. And then this to this relationship is about what? 2/3 of the length. So I'm going to take about this much, and I'm going to take it up about that much. If I want to measure, I can. I could say this and that. See how that's about 2/3? So then I take this and that and say this should be a little shorter. So I'm going to say it's right here. Then I'm going to go from this corner to vanishing point and this corner to vanishing point. And here I need, what do I need? I have a vertical, I have a vanishing point, so I'm going to go horizontal right there, right? So now I have here a box that this crate could be shipped in. Now I probably want to move my tracing paper because this box here is confusing me. I can see that box through there. So I'm just going to take and lay this up on the desk so that I don't see that anymore. And I'm going to continue looking at this box to understand what it is. There's a board there, right? So the board that sits on the floor, and this is the footprint on the floor, comes up, so it has a thickness to the board. So I'm going to draw a line right next to this line. I'm going to draw a line right next to that line. This is now the bottom of the board, and this is the top of the board. So I need to come here and get the thickness of the board here. And then here I'm not going to see that line, but I'm going to draw it anyway so I understand it. And then this is going to be horizontal across there. So now you can see through the bottom of the board of that table. I'm going to do that on the top of the table too. I'm just drawing a line right next to this line right here so that I'm seeing the thickness of the board that makes up the top of the table and the bottom of the table. Now I'm going to get my eraser in there because I don't want to see this stuff that I'm not going to see. So I'm going to erase the lines that are going to be invisible. I may want to tap them out with my kneaded eraser so that I don't totally erase them. It's often the case that I want to keep my see-through nature of my box, so work with your hard pencils first. Okay, so we have the slab, the board that goes on the top, and we have the board that goes on the bottom. Now we need to get these vertical boards. Notice how there's 3 lines right here, 1, 2, 3, right? That's showing the front of that board and the side of that board. So in a 3/4 view, we should see this side of the board and that side of the board. So right here, I'm seeing the corner of the board, and I draw a line on the left and the right of that so that I'm seeing this side of the board and that side of the board. I might need to get in here with my eraser a little bit so I understand that this is coming on top. Now, this board is going right vanishing point here and here, and it's going not right vanishing point, it's going to the vanishing point since I'm only in 1 point perspective, right? So it's going to vanishing point here in depth, and here it's going horizontal, flat across. This board here, I can show the horizontal side of the board facing the front of the cabinet or the table. And then here, where this hits the corner, I'm going to see something go off to vanishing point right, or to vanishing point. Now, if I wasn't sure, I could come down to this corner right here and I could say, here I have height and width, but I don't have any depth. So I need to get some depth going there and show that going just like that. I don't see the point where it hooks underneath the table because my eye level is above the table, so I can't see up underneath the table when my eye level is up above it, right? But I do see where that board connects to the table down here. In this case, I'm going to draw a line here. This is coming away from vanishing point, so this needs to go horizontal to connect to the bottom of the table down there. Then this line is up above that, so this comes out from up there because that's coming from this corner back here. All right. Now, where this line goes back and where this line comes across is where this back leg is going to sit. So you can see this coming across this way and across this way. These 2 lines should line up right here, and these 2 lines should line up on the horizontal. So once I've tracked this across this way and this across that way, I've got a little spot here that tells me where this goes, and this line should be going to vanishing point, and this line should be going horizontal, and then I take the corner and I draw it up until it disappears underneath the table back there like so.